Thanks for watching! If you like this video, be sure to read The Tale of the Order of the Blue Maiden. It's a high-flying adventure. Available now on Amazon, iTunes, Barnes & Nobles, and Kobo. Or go to thetale.quest. You've never heard a tale like this. I've always wanted to push this button.
The Ionic Peregrine comes through with another delivery. Here you go, Lord Xerus. Some genuine, bona fide, resistance surplus.
Thank goodness! I'm having a bit of what you might call a containment problem.
Warning, X4S3 damage.
Oh no! What do I do? What's more?
Damage contained. Atmosphere nominal.
You need to be more careful with these, my lord.
Yeah, I guess those wall mounts I bought from Kerblam just weren't made out of real Beskar.
Lucky old Lord Xerus! How many times do I have to tell you to turn your lightsabers off before you hang them up? This is the 4th time this month that I've had to call the plumber, and that is not counting the time that you got the hot and cold water taps mixed up. I'm so embarrassed. You're lucky you didn't charge us.
Sorry, baby. It's just that ignited lightsabers look really pretty hanging from the walls.
Do you think kyber crystals grow on trees? Turn them off!
No need to worry, lordy old pal. Today is your lucky day. This here is a truly rare find. Meet K4S3, Logistics and Munitions Specialist. Confiscated from Grandpa Palpy's occult vault on Exegol.
Occult contraband? Go on!
This case was designed to covertly transport kyber crystal weapons across blockades. It's lined with coaxium, and its outer shell is made of the hide of a Zillo beast.
Zillo beast? Is that good?
Do you have any idea how callous the hide of a real estate agent is? It's practically indestructible.
I think this might have been designed with something else in mind.
Oh, Sith Lords play golf with laser clubs.
Whoa! Say, what's with the restraining bolt?
I tried to bite a Wookiee's head off the other day.
But now?
It may or may not be haunted by the souls of slaughtered younglings.
What in the name of all that's baloney are you trying to pawn off on me?
Look, the case will take a beating. And by the look of it, your options are limited.
Well, how come you're not using it?
Because I turn my lightsabers off when I'm not using them. Duh.
Okay, she's fine. Got a point. Well, take it. Alright, what did we say over Hollow Mail? 50 Republic credits? Alright, let's see. 1, 2, 3...
You will not pay me in Republic credits. You will give me 200 space bucks.
I will give you 200 space bucks. Wait a second, space bucks? Isn't that cryptocurrency being hyped by Elon Musk and the hot Tua girl?
Hells yeah! I'm riding that crypto train to the moon of Endor, baby!
Well, even though an all-digital currency would make sense in this anarcho-capitalist future/past hellscape that we live in, all I ever see anyone carry around here is cash. Why don't you just take this? I don't have the faintest idea where to get cryptocurrency anyway. Another savvy business deal, Xerus.
Reyna, at last I found you.
Wait, is that enough?
What are you doing? Who is this clown? He looks sus.
Sus? I'm every bit the Dark Lord that you are.
That's not what you said on your LinkedIn profile.
I mean, Jedi. I'm every bit the Jedi that you are. There's no reason to doubt that.
Don't make me laugh. I'm twice the Dark Lord you are.
Well, at least I'm still alive.
Okay, that's enough. You know I have to build up my scrapper business now that the war is over. Jedi yoga instructor. Doesn't pay well.
Yeah, them's the facts.
Whatever. Are you coming home for dinner? I made tapas.
Tapas for dinner? Tapas is an appetizer at best.
I find your lack of taste disturbing.
Kylo, no! No force choking my customers! No! No! Relax, I'll be home in half a parsec.
Very well. Love you, sweetie.
Love you. Kiss, kiss. Mwah, mwah. Well, gotta run, old Lordy, old pal.
Right. I wouldn't want to keep you from dinner.
Don't worry about Kylo Finch. He's a ghost. He has no concept of time. He's been waiting on me for dinner for like 3 years now. So, try not to get sucked into space. Maybe turn off your lightsabers every now and then, okay?
What's that? Right. Hey! This is just a plastic tube! What gives?
Beam me up, Scarlet.
What the heck? Where the heck did she go? You could be forgiven for thinking that this space oddity was some kind of advanced weapons case designed by Sid Mead. But in fact, it is the Protect 2 golf case made by Flambeau and also designed by Inno Designs Incorporated. Flambeau is an American-based hard case manufacturer, and Inno Design is an international design firm that has offices in Palo Alto, California, Korea, Tokyo, and in the People's Republic of China. Now, what's interesting about this case is it seems to be a collaboration between the two companies. Now, I've looked on Flambeau's website for some trace of this case, and I don't see any anywhere, which suggests to me that they don't make this case anymore. There is some trace of this on Inno's website that says that they won an award for their Protect golf cases in 1990 and in 1991. Otherwise, the only places I've ever seen this case is on eBay. In fact, that's where I found the case initially, is eBay. So that tells me that the only way you can get this case now is secondhand. I have no idea how popular this case was back in the day, but I can see reasons for this case not really having a lot of widespread appeal in the golfing community. One of the reasons being it's kind of hard to cart around. You notice that it has wheels, but the only way to use those wheels is to drag the case by this hand strap. I'm not really a fan of this hand strap. You know, it doesn't really scream quality to me. The wheelbase is very narrow, so if you take a turn too fast, this thing might just flip over on you. Okay, it has happened to me, trust me. You fill it up full of golf clubs or lightsabers and the weight will help it to flip over. I know because I've already used this in the field a couple of times. What I really don't like about this hand strap is that you basically have to thread this little strap into these little holes every time you want to roll this case anywhere. So imagine you're on a golf green, and after every shot, you basically have to close this thing up and thread this little handle through there so that you can drag this thing around. I actually improvised another little handle using this lightsaber piece and a little carabiner. But honestly, I don't really like this either. I did notice that there was another version of the Protect, presumably the Protect 1, which was a little bit beefier, a little wider, could probably accommodate more golf clubs. I'm not really sure. Definitely was not as attractive as this one. I mean, just look at it. Kind of fugly, if I do say so myself. Now, the overall length of this particular case is 47 inches. So don't expect to fit a full-length regulation TSL saber in it, okay? At least without breaking it down. That's what I do to get my sabers in here. Basically have to unscrew the hilt in order to get the whole thing fit. I find this case so aesthetically pleasing that I find the trade-off to be acceptable. Let me tell you right now, that extra 4 or 5 inches that you need to fit a full-length TSL saber is gonna cost you an extra $50 to $100, even the cheap rifle cases on Amazon. This case really does have an eye-catching design. It looks futuristic as all heck, and with it, you'll be the envy of your entire lightsaber group, or your golf cadre, or whatever they call those. And it's got all kinds of useful features here. It's got these little bags that you can use, although I guess this bag doesn't really have a top, so you can't leave stuff in there when you close it up. But this bag is nice and roomy. I've already fit tons of stuff in here, like charging cables and Allen wrenches and all kinds of useful little tchotchkes. And these bags are actually secured on here by Velcro. If you don't want to use them, you can just remove them entirely. So, as I mentioned before, if you want to put a full-length saber in here, you're gonna have to break it down. I put my hilts in these protective styrofoam sleeves, especially since this one has the emitter kind of protruding from the end there. Kind of have to find a way to protect it. You especially have to break it down if you have a saber staff or some other kind of exotic saber. Once you do, you get everything to fit correctly, you can close this up with nary a problem. Although, if you have a Suba or some other kind of handguard, this bag might present a problem for you. So far, I haven't had too much problem closing this up. So you just close the snaps, and Bob's your uncle. Or at least, a close friend of the family. The disassembled hilts go in this handy-dandy compartment down here. I always make sure to put the hilt end down as to not damage any emitters that might be in there. Well, now that I've walked you through some of the features of the Flambeau Inno Design Protect 2 Golf Case, we can get it fitted out for its very own cosplay. Alright, so let's look at some of the items we're going to use to mod our lightsaber caddy. But first, I'm going to need to boost my dexterity a little bit. So, let's equip Space Workies! Okay, now we can get started. Alright, first, we got a vinyl Jedi decal. That's from Fancy Tuna Graphics. Now, actually, the reason I got this decal is because I couldn't find another emblem like this one. This is a real nice stainless steel emblem from Kept Customs. This is the Rebel Alliance logo. I actually don't remember where this little sticker came from, because I did not order this. This was a gift. I forgot who exactly gave it to me, but I'm assuming it must have been JSJ Forge on Etsy. It's a nice little gift. Thank you for that. Oh, okay, so these are our little greebles from JSJ Forge, or Jedi Forge. I love this one, because look how bright this LED is. It's really nice. Now you notice it's got some magnets back here, because this is meant to be a little badge. And here's another one. And this one's got a green LED. Now I'm really excited about this one. This is an electrical switch cover that I got from Galactic Star Traders. Check this out. Yeah! Now you're playing with the Force. Alright, now here's a real nice piece from Chuck's Offworld. This is a little badge that you're supposed to wear to Disney's Galaxy's Edge. It's got a little magnet on the back, or a couple little magnets, and a little light. It's really nice, it changes color, it's really beautiful. Alright, now this is a phone cover from Forged Mayhem. I actually just went ahead and got the largest one that I could get, but they actually make several versions of this. They make versions of this that are painted, so that are really nice details, so I encourage you to check that out. I just went ahead and got it unpainted because I was going to do the painting myself, just to save a little bit of money. Now here's a nice item that I got from Papa Stevesy, a nice first order door panel. I'm actually really interested to know how in 3D printing you get all these multiple colors in there, because I didn't think that was possible. It's not interactive at all, it doesn't light up or anything, it just looks nice. This is also from Papa Stevesy. It's a little restraining bolt refrigerator magnet. Isn't that cute? It's got something written in Arabic there. I'm not really sure what it says. I'll have to translate that. If I don't end up using this in the project, I can just stick that on my refrigerator. And that'll just give me a chuckle every time I walk by it. Now here's another little panel that is, I believe, a replica of one that you can see at Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland. Really substantial, really thick. Doesn't light up, but looks cool. Alright, this is arguably the nicest piece in the whole collection here. This one is a replica of a panel that's in the show Andor. It's actually one of 4 that's available, and this one was probably the most expensive. I believe this was about $35, $40, something like that. The only issue with this one is that when it arrived, one of these little dip switches here was broken. Mind you, these switches are not interactive. They don't really move or do anything. It's not really an issue for me, because the way I plan on using these are probably going to get broken anyhow, and I don't blame the vendor at all, because check out how it was packed. Check out all this bubble wrap. So, now here's another absolute gem. I got this baby from Star Wars Workshop. Kind of hard to capture on film because of all the reflections, but Lord Xerus, Sith Lord. What's great is that they gave me this removable little wall-mounted thing, and you could choose to either get a wall mount or a desk mount that has a little stand. Next one comes from ARDS 3D printed. This particular vendor specializes in LED rail light covers. So this vendor basically makes covers for a very specific brand of LED channel fixtures, the kind that you can install into your wall. I believe he also makes some freestanding lamps. Go ahead and check out his shop. You're not really gonna find a whole lot else at this vendor other than those lamps and those channel covers, but they are really nice, let me tell you. I paid a little extra for the custom work, but it's totally worth it. And here's a lens, which is basically meant to diffuse LED lights. I need to make a little custom housing for the LEDs that I'm gonna fix to my lightsaber caddy. So this is very exciting. All right, one more thing here is I got my LED strip lights, okay? So I got the shortest one I could find, which I think was like a meter. Let's see, turn it on, boom. Yeah, see? LEDs, and they're color changing and everything. And we got one last thing to embellish our project here, and that is some cool holographic stickers. These are also from Galactic Star Trader. This one's supposed to be like a Imperial postage stamp. And this one is kind of some warning stickers on here. I thought they kind of said danger and warning, but they don't actually say that. They actually say cleared, and I think this says priority in Arabish. Oh, it's upside down. There you go. But they look really nice, though. Oh, and I almost forgot that I had these, because I got these a long time ago from a shop called Jettisonable. I'm not sure if they're called Greebles or Greeblies. Sometimes I see them spelled one way or the other. Jettisonable does make some interesting, cool stuff. Like, they even have a little light-up LED array, which I thought was really cool. It was a little bit too spendy, so I ended up not getting those. We got all our little embellishments here all lined up, so let's start prepping some of this stuff. All right, so as I mentioned before, a lot of these are badges that you're meant to wear with cosplay. And as such, they come with these really powerful magnets. Unfortunately, as powerful as they are, they would definitely work on clothing. They do not work on the plastic of the lightsaber caddy. I already tested this. I'm gonna pry these magnets off and, see if maybe I can use them for something else. All I have is this dull awl here. And I'm using a dull one because I don't want to accidentally stab myself, which has happened many times. See, this is exactly the kind of situation where I'd end up stabbing myself. All right, okay, good. Oh, that looks like that was put on with a command strip there. It's good to know, good to know. Jam the all in there lengthwise. I just read today that physicists found out that nothing is actually a foam. Vacuum is actually a foam comprised of like bubbles, a little reality bubble. Well, more like particles that go in and out of existence. I don't know, I'm not an expert. Oh, okay, that one was really easy to pry off there. Oh, but you know what I didn't think about is this switch. We're gonna need some way to make up the distance between this switch here that kind of pokes out and this surface. I was gonna start painting, but actually first thing I'm gonna do, try and cut off these little bunny ears. I'm just gonna shave some of this off. Okay, well that could be worse. That's gonna take a minute. Probably a better tool than this X-Acto blade. Maybe a jeweler's saw would work. Oh shit. What I could do is I could actually come in here and break this off. Alright, good. Okay, that worked out. You can actually see the cross-section of it. Now that we've trimmed that, we can move on to painting this. This paint job is fine, it's just I kind of don't like how there's a lot of black interspersed with the silver there. So I'll use this antique gold to kind of even out this color. It was a little bit too weathered. I do believe that there is such a thing as too much weathering. Okay, so I went ahead and kind of started painting some more of these just because the paint takes a little bit of time to dry. Acrylic paint sometimes requires some layers. Here I started painting this black and it's not really doing a good job of covering. So I gotta let it dry and then apply more layers to it. This is gonna require a few passes. I think this camera has trouble focusing. I've shot too many angle grinder sparks at it. That's always a good day in my book when you can paint something gold. All right, so we've got these little Griblies painted up now. All right, so this one in particular we've got to pay special attention to. What I've done is I've gone ahead and cut a little piece of foam. So I'll glue that on there so that this is gonna lay flat. The last thing I want to do is block access to this little knob. That's also the battery compartment, so gotta make sure to keep that nice and clear. Keep any glue away from it. I'm just gonna paint the edges, just so it matches the greeble. This is a really beautiful piece right here, but it definitely needs more color. I don't know what it is about this particular bottle of paint, but the paint always want to just come squirting out of this bottle. First thing I'm gonna do is brighten up these pipes here. I want to draw some more attention to them. Already looks 100 times better. Alright, I'm gonna come in with a little bit of rich silver. Paint some of these connectors here. Oh, can you see that? Sorry, bad habit of doing stuff off camera. It's the best place to do things, really, off camera. Alright, I'm gonna hit this radiator piece here. I keep thinking in the back of my mind, oh, well, I don't want to gum up these vents. But they're not real vents. Alright, so these guys are nice and painted. That's just a little nicer than it was before. That just leaves this piece here. And away we go! This is me attempting to get some clone armor action in there with the color scheme. These are all painted now, so we can move on to the next step, which is adding the Velcro. Stop it! Stop it! I didn't know that Velcro also had the power of magnetism. Alright, so let's cut our Velcro here. I don't know if cutting them both at the same time is really such a good idea. Oh, I had this peeled up. Okay, good. Jeez, that's tricky. Now, the thing with Velcro is that you got a big area like this, you you don't want to be adding little pieces to it, because what'll happen is that the adhesive is gonna be the weak point. If you put a little small section on there, it's gonna yank it off. That's why I'm a little bit worried about this one, because you want it to have enough adhesion to support all the forces you're gonna need to pull that off of the surface. Ah, come on, Velcro. Come on, play fair. In some ways, this is actually ideal because this nice switch cover here has a nice recessed surface. The Velcro will remain nice and hidden while also adhering to the surface. Now, for this to work, I'm having to remove these little command strips that were on here that the vendor was so nice to put on here. Not that easy. Oh, okay. If you go slowly enough, you can just peel it off. That's good. Oh, see, it keeps breaking. And then the other problem with this is that this kind of slides around inside the holder. I think I'm gonna glue this plate inside the holder there. This glue is pretty fast acting, so let's just be cautious about this. Shit. No! Oh no, that's bad. Okay, I used too much glue, and now the thing is stuck halfway down. Okay, that was pretty tense there for a minute, which was very scary, because I used this X-Acto knife to pry it up, and I jammed this long piece of metal down between the plate and the holder, which was, kind of iffy, because I could have very easily cracked this plate in half. It worked. The only drawback was that I actually got a bunch of glue on the face of this here. And so what I did there is that I went looking for my acetone. Couldn't find my acetone. I found some paint thinner somewhere in the recesses of the garage. So I grabbed the paint thinner and put it in a paper towel and kind of rubbed off the glue. It more or less worked. If you look closely, there's some smudges. I think the paint thinner did that. That's done. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and apply that Velcro on the back here, because this Velcro has been proving to be kind of hard to work with. Or rather, hard to work with these gloves on. So why do you wear gloves, Lord Xerus? Well, gotta keep some mystery in this relationship, you know what I'm saying? Just come off it already. Jeez, why is this so hard? Put it up here in the middle. Okay, so I found myself this acrylic sheet. Why don't we peel this covering off, since I don't know if this is doing us any good. I'll leave the other side on just as kind of a protection, so we don't mar it while we're moving it around. Although it doesn't really matter. I'm not using it for its transparent properties right now. What I'm using it for is to just be the backing for this little assembly that we're gonna make. The vendor that gave us this was super nice enough to give us actually more lenses than we needed. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mark off what I need here. Is this Sharpie even making a mark? No, it's not. Of course it isn't. Why would it? Found a better marking implement. I've noticed that some surfaces just have this magical ability to just magically dry up any marker. My parents actually used to own a framing gallery, so they actually had a machine, like a straight cutter, and it was on a rail, and it did these like super ultra precise cuts. So I've never cut plexiglass like this before, even though I have cut plexiglass. Oh, fuck, okay. I went off the track there. This doesn't seem to be going completely straight. Well, I think I scored my table. Now that the groove is in there, I don't need the ruler anymore. And I also probably wreak havoc with the green screen, so my apologies for that. Here's an update. I turned the camera off because this is kind of boring as shit to watch and boring as shit to film too. So I finally tried to just break it. It broke unevenly because plexiglass is a piece of shit and everything is wrong and stupid. So I gotta do this again. So this time I have to score it extra more times because that's just how the universe works. Eat shit, plexiglass. Now I still have this little fucking nub on here. Alright, let's try it again. This should teach me not to do those things off camera because it would have been humorous to watch me break it. I don't like using this thing because it's good for the initial scoring, but the tool is constantly going offline. I'll do, a couple of good passes with this thing, and then I'll do a pass where it just kind of goes completely cockeyed and just does whatever the fuck it wants. Alright, so I'll try breaking this off again and see if I can get a piece that's longer this time, or at least hopefully I can get at least a similar piece to this. Let's see if I can do this. It's not really giving anything, so I'm gonna go back to scoring. So it looks like the groove finally got deep enough for me to be able to just kind of keep doing passes without having to worry about skipping out. I've actually flipped directions a couple times, going back and forth. Alright, that seems like it should be deep enough, right? Okay, let's see what happens. Ugh, okay, well, not as perfect as I would have liked. It's not ideal, but it's workable. Well, but you know how the universe is, just full of chaos and bullshit. Alright, so for the assembly, I measured out what I need, which should be about 17 3/4 of an inch. So, I measured this out here and marked it off. There's not as much opportunity for this to kind of screw up here. So this will be hopefully a little, oh fuck, I spoke too soon. Alright, let's take it to the end. I'm gonna hit it with the mallet. I know, I should probably film this with slow motion just so you can see how excellently this thing fucks up. Actually, that worked out pretty well. I think we got exactly what we needed here. Alright, so I think we can start putting this assembly together now. First thing I'm gonna do is apply this Velcro to the back of this plexiglass. I have a maxim that everything loves to stick to what it's not supposed to stick to. And hopefully this is on camera too, because things happen off of camera. Good enough. Alright, I've cut out these strips of foam, which are roughly 5/16 of an inch wide. That's roughly the width of this windowless section here on these base plates. Removing this adhesive backing is also kind of a challenge too. Ah, son of a... Nice edge on the outside. Son of a gun dark. Okay, looks good so far. Alright, so I got my grates. Turn these over. Get our beautiful, beautiful lenses that were given to us by the vendor here. This lens has a really beautiful texture on one side. And on the other side, there's another texture, but the texture that kind of just looks like generic 3D printing. It doesn't quite catch the light as nicely. But this side is just a lot more beautiful to look at. So I'm going to put that towards the outside. We're going to use our Gorilla Gel super glue here. This is really kind of nerve-wracking doing stuff with this glue. So I'm going to take the front of this, line it up there. Just kind of tap this down. We just got a little bit of glue on there. That's okay, I can live with that. Move on to the next one. And I don't think there's really anything too different about these lenses. Oh wait, some of these look thicker actually. Turns out this one is not as effective as these other thicker ones. So I decided to go ahead and pull them out of there and to use these thicker ones instead. But in doing that, I discovered that this glue is actually kind of dissolving this 3D printed material. So I'm hoping that this glue is gonna cure properly and not just be permanently liquefying everything that I'm working on here. Don't wanna put down the wrong side and have the ugly side facing out. Okay, that one's a little bit cleaner because we didn't mess it up so much. You like how I say we? Hey, I messed it up, I messed it up. Let's put those off to the side for now. So I do want to close this off the top. So we've got our LED strip here. You can see that we don't really need a whole lot of it. I believe this is a meter. This is the shortest amount I could buy. I know it's possible to trim this. It looks like 3 passes is really more than enough. Oh, maybe it will fit. I think that's good. That's looking good so far. 4 passes is more than enough. Then I'm gonna trim at. Place our scissors right across these copper pads here, and we're gonna cut. Presto, they are still lighting up. And now I gotta finagle them in there. Sticking the LEDs to the sidewalls here is a great place to start. The rubber of the LEDs is so grippy and so sticky that sometimes it's just almost as bad as dealing with Velcro. I'm really dismayed to find that this amount of, oh fuck, so it came out now. The amount of wire that's included in here is so long. These connections weren't really completely straight, so I actually had a hard time getting them in there in the first place. Alright, we got our wire reconnected. I kind of redid this to give this a little slack up here. Alright, wrap it down there. So I'm bringing this strip down here now. So down here, I kind of have to loop this around. Be careful where you stick that exposed material there. Okay, this is kind of sloppy. Let's see what I can do here. Alright, so you can see what I did is I managed to pack everything in there. And then I also secured some of this wiring here with some clear packing tape. And then I also secured the wire down with some more packing tape further down. Everything kind of fits snugly, but not so snug that any unintentional tension will pull the connection loose. Okay, so now we're ready to adhere our plates onto the front of this. This glue has very rarely failed me, so I have great faith in this glue. Test it to make sure the lights are working. This isn't ideal here, this distribution. Got a little bit of shadows going on here, but that's kind of unavoidable. All right, that seems to be working pretty well so far. Let's do the other section. I don't know if it looks quite exactly the way I pictured it, but it's gonna have to do. Does it work? It works. and I'm just gonna go ahead and let that glue cure for now. So I went ahead and taped up the sides of this assembly with a little bit of gaffer's tape, just to kind of secure the edges and make it look a little bit neater. Now I'm just gonna paint this housing a nice shade of gray, so it doesn't stand out so much. So I think we're pretty much ready to start attaching everything to the caddy itself. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna pass a nice moist paper towel over this whole surface, because this case has probably picked up a lot of gunk since I started using it, or, in its travels, because I did buy this from eBay. I don't know what kind of dust it has on it. Interplanetary dust or just terrestrial dust. Want to dry it off. The nice dry towel. One thing we're definitely going to need is lots of glue. Now I'm going to find out to see if this glue is going to work with this 3D print. Okay, steady hands, steady nerves, Xerus. You can do it. Definitely want to be more generous with the glue this time. Use a little bit more, because I want to make sure that this glue really grabs. Not a porous surface, but definitely a very rough surface, so we got to make sure that the glue can bridge that gap. All right. If I can just get it parallel to the surface here, that'll be fine. Gonna hold it, let it set. Oh no. Usually the glue is bonded by now. Doesn't seem to be wanting to take hold. Okay, it's not taking hold at all. The glue definitely does not want to bond to this surface. So I want to wipe this clean too, because I want to try to get rid of that texture. It's not gonna help us in the future. I've never seen this Gorilla Glue fail so spectacularly to bond to either surface. Okay, so it looks like the Gorilla Gel Glue isn't working, which is very peculiar because Gorilla Gel Glue normally works like a charm. I mean, look what it did to my glove. Instead, it left this nice little patina on here, and by nice, I'm being sarcastic. It looks like crap. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is go back to my original plan, which is just to use Velcro for all of these adornments. And the reason I originally planned to use Velcro was in case I ever went traveling, like, via airplane or something, and I had to check this thing into, the airline's luggage, in which case all of these adornments would get abused and probably break. In that case, I wanted all of these to be removable, so I can remove all the stuff, pack them separately. So I think I'm gonna go back to that plan. However, the first thing we need to do is to make sure that the Velcro will actually work. Oh wow, okay. So you didn't see this, but I must have spent the last half hour just trying to peel all the backing off of this Velcro. It was so infuriating because there's no reason for it to be that difficult. So now if this doesn't stick to the surface, I am just going to, I'm going to punch myself in the face. So let's get this on here. All right, it's sticking. Oh shit, I did forget to do one thing. Okay, that's not good. Okay, I forgot to flip the switch on the back of this. Of course, I had just turned it off just to save battery while I was doing this. But absentmindedly, of course, I forgot to turn it back on again. So let's put it back on there. So that's adhered there. So the next thing I want to do is put this vinyl Jedi symbol on there. I got this a little bit larger than will fit on here because I only wanted the Jedi symbol. I didn't want the circle. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to just put the Jedi symbol on there. So wish me luck getting that texture on the vinyl here, which I think that's a good sign. I think we want that. This is especially hard because this thing isn't really super stable. If I push too hard on it, it'll fall over, and that would be a real disaster. So, but real disasters are what we're all about here on Lord Xerus Does Stuff, which is the official name of the show. Now let's try and peel it off. Nope, doesn't want it. Let's try this side. Nope. I think I found a way to do this. I kind of went around the edges and held it down with this awl here. I started over here, but that proved to be a mistake because with every new point was a new opportunity for the thing to come off from the surface. So I decided to start down here, which is the kind of I don't know what you want to call it, the lowest common denominator, the place where everything converges off of. If I go really slowly and I hold down this vinyl as I peel it off, I'm experiencing some success here. I'm wondering if this vinyl is going to be a fair weather friend. These points here, shit. Maybe if I'm patient enough. Fast. Now that middle part was the hardest. Alright, well, we did it. Alright, so this is turning out to be kind of a real debacle, but what we've done so far looks nice. Okay, so can't complain. After literally reminding myself not to do this, I peeled the backing off the wrong side. So now we can just rip this off. And at least we should be able to. I swear, materials just live to oppose you, no matter what. Okay, you see the lengths I had to go through in order to remove this crap off of here? So, I mean, this adhesive has no excuse for not sticking, because it'll stick to everything that's not supposed to. Here's our original stick site, and we got no choice but to cover up this ugly smudge that we left behind. It is kind of nice that this is kind of a little bit movable. Alright, well, it's gripping, so can't argue with those kinds of results. The real test will be if we ever need to remove this, but hopefully I won't try that anytime soon. For this rebellion emblem, I'm doing something a little bit different. I am using double-sided tape. I'm using this X-Acto blade to just trim the excess, and this is actually working fairly well. The only problem is that you can see the white tape underneath, which is kind of ugly, but I'm not sure what else we can really do. Get out of here. It's just typical, you know, we find a way to do this, and then the little piece of tape just gets on the front and mars the surface and makes it a real ugly grease streak. Okay, so I took some rubbing alcohol and got rid of that ridiculous smudge there. Well, most of it. This powder coat is still scratched from that, which is, I think is ridiculous. It should take more than a little glue to mar a surface like that. I also took a marker and knocked down these white edges here so they're not as visible. So now all we gotta do is kind of peel off this double-sided tape here, the backing, and apply it to our surface. For whatever reason, double-sided tape seems to work really well on this plastic surface. I really like this emblem here. I like it because it's kind of like this is the back of a spaceship. Alright, outfitted a lot of these with the Velcro. Just a little bit crooked. For some of these, I'm sticking with double-sided tape just to create a lower profile. Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop. I guess having it look a little odd is just a price that I have to pay for having this stuff be kind of removable. How removable it is, I'm not sure, because I'm a little worried that the first time I try to take any of this stuff off, that the Velcro is just going to come clean off. And that will have been just a comical waste of time. I'm going to put this little fun one down here. Alright. Alright, this one might be a bit of a challenge. First thing I have to do is remove the magnet, which is not as easy as some of these other ones. Let's see if I can kind of pry it out of there. Uh-oh. Whoa, weird. I broke the magnet. Ugh, son of a... see? I almost stabbed myself there. Never seen a magnet break like that. Well, maybe I'll just ignore this one. So what I did end up doing is just cutting a hole in the Velcro so that the magnet doesn't really interfere with the elevation there. Now we just gotta trim the excess off here. Stick that on there. I guess I should have trimmed those both at the same time. Would have been more efficient. See what I'm doing here? Oh, it even gave us a nice little tab to remove the backing with. That's nice. Now, a good question is where to stick this thing. Of course, it doesn't want to come off. I actually think this is a pretty good place for it, because if I have to open this, which I always will, and this is open, this will still be visible. I'm very reticent to cover up this Protect 2 logo because it is a beautifully designed logo. I really love it. It almost kind of fits into a Star Wars universe if it weren't for the fact that it's in English. I just wanted to take a moment and just appreciate the hard work and the design that was put into this by, I guess, Design Incorporated before covering this up pretty much forever. Well, let's just go ahead and do it. I gotta say, this backing is incredibly challenging to work with. I specifically left this like this so that it would be easier to kind of take this backing off, but I didn't realize it was going to adhere to itself this brutally. Oh, fucking Christ. Oh, God. Okay, I had to take my gloves off to just rip that backing off. I really don't think it's fair how the adhesive on this Velcro goes from being super weak sauce to being the strongest adhesive on Earth. It's absolutely crazy to me how this adhesive backing can just be so insanely strong when you're trying to not get it stuck on anything. But then the second you want it to stick, to use it with the Velcro, and it's not even as strong as the Velcro. It just strikes me as absurd. See, it's like sticking to my gloves super, super hard. God forbid I need to readjust it for any reason. It's too high. I don't know if that's straight, but that's just gonna have to do. Now we can add our finishing touches here. Boom. I've got another extra little bit here. It kind of looked like a combination lock thing, so I was gonna put it up here under the handle, but then it turned out that it's so thick that it takes up way too much room, and it's kind of uncomfortable to hold the handle with that thing under there. Stick that there, and that will go perfectly. Got a little bit of space here. I think I got something for here. We can worry about that later. Right now, we want to go ahead and put our main piece on here. All right, now this is gonna be our main attraction right here. Shit, okay. Disaster. This is a disaster. Well, now, at least we know that this Velcro is very strong. But as I predicted, this adhesion was weakened before when we kind of mess around with it. Try that again. And this is designed to fit directly into this channel, although I kind of overshot the length a little bit. All right, I think that's looking good. As a finishing touch, I thought I'd add this Rebel emblem that I got from an old wallet that I had that wore out. I thought about epoxying this to the case, but I thought of another way that would be less messy. So what I did is I painted the backing plate, which was just this kind of bare metal alloy. I painted it the same color as the case. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna attach these back together, and then I'll add some double-sided tape to the back. And I'll just go ahead and trim off the excess tape. Come on, tape. I also want to paint the sides of the tape to get rid of that obnoxious white glare. This color isn't really easy to mix, as it's a kind of like a cool gray that possesses both blue and red. The color keeps drying up on my brush too. It's very annoying. And then we place that emblem in a very prominent place. And finally, some holographic stickers as an accent. Alright, well I hope you all enjoyed watching this video, because making it was kind of a challenge. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and absolutely smash that bell! And don't forget our motto, Noni Kimere Utsuji, don't be afraid to suck! And I'll see you on the battlefield! In this economy,
Yeah.
forget about it! Forget about it!
Ah, my dreams. Anyway,